Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Longlegs. So just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. In the pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. So now let's begin with my first pro. This film gave me so many other movie vibes, but in a good way. It reminded me of Zodiac, Seven, and Silence of the Lambs. I know they took inspirations from many of these and others. In a sense, it felt like they were taking the best of each film and putting it into this one. It didn't feel like they were cheating in any way. I honestly just enjoyed the film from a viewer's perspective. It gave me something to latch on to and enjoy the film even more. It seemed more like it was an homage than anything else, and it just added more to this film. Next pro, Maika Monroe and her role as Agent Lee Harker, her anxiety or whatever you want to call it, it transferred over to the viewers. I don't know if it was just her way of delivering her lines or her movements or even her facial expression or lack of that really sold the character to us. Same goes with Nicolas Cage as Longlegs. He isn't on screen much, but when he is, he's Nicolas Cage full mode, but instead of being over the top, he's over the top but with a horror twist added on. Like, it really makes your skin crawl and you feel really uncomfortable watching him. Especially when he talks, it makes you feel unsettled, and that fits so well in this film, especially the prosthetics that made it feel even more weird because it didn't seem natural. You can tell they were fake. It was maybe the killer's motive of trying to transform himself into a different person, and also the obsession with the color white. All this makes this character stand out and be up there close to Buffalo Bill in a creepy way, but you can't look away. Next pro, the time period that this film takes place or that the crimes are being committed in is the 1970s, and it flashes all the way to the present time, which is in the 90s. Seems like this is the best era in which serial criminal movies were set in back in the day, and they play homage to all of them in one way or another. Also, the simple set design, the wardrobe, cars, houses, even the interior and exterior shots, how they laid them out was simple, but yet it was complex from a cinematography point of view. So when you take all of this, put it in a film, it kind of gives you the right vibe for that setting. Next pro, the cinematography. Like, damn, those white shot scenes, it was so effective. They drew suspense and it was amazing. This is some Stanley Kubrick shit here. Whoever took the time to pick the lenses and the shots and how to frame them, I had to take my hat off to them. For example, one part that stood out was when the agent was at home and she received the letter from Longlegs and she began opening the letter. That shot, how it was framed with the kitchen door behind her and how it made you focus in the background. It made it seem like something was going to happen or come out there, so you were expecting it and waiting it to happen, but nothing ever happened. It was just there. This is the type of things that movies have forgotten that can relay fear and bring suspense into people without actually having to do anything. But nowadays, they opt out for the jump scares, which most people are obviously aware. Most times it's just a hit and miss. Next pro, the pace for me was just the right speed. Yes, it's a bit of a slow burn, but everything, it felt just right. Something always came up when the film was slowing down and it gave it the film an extra push. That was a film for me. Also, it felt like there was a transfer from Agent Lee's anxiety towards the pace of the film. It wanted you to say, get moving, but at the same time, every time something happened, it just kept you more invested. And then again, slow down again, anxiety just started to build up again. Now let's move on to my cons. Okay, I will come out and say it. The ending felt wrong. I know they wanted to leave it up to the audience for them to close it by themselves, but did they have to end it in that way? Why not in a different place or a different manner? Yet still leave it open-ended for people to talk about the ending among their friends and what they got out of it. There was so many different ways they could have ended it, but I felt their choice was not the best one they opted for. People will see it and then just forget about it. They needed to leave on something that people could have felt they want to look deeper and find meaning into versus what we got. Next con. Okay, again, some people will say that it's a slow burn and the pace of the film is really slow, and I am including it here because I also included it as a pro. The pace for some will be slow, and because of that, it will make the film feel boring or feel that there's so many parts that they could have taken out of the film. So some people will see this film and just be totally turned off by it. They won't want to watch it. They won't want to continue. They will feel they are cheated. And in a sense, you can see it that way. But other people who see it and stay glued to it, props, because, you know, it's a slow burn. And yes, slow burn movies are sometimes a bust, but this one kind of fit. So it's a pro and a con. So my grade for this film is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. I would give this film an 8 or an 8.5, but the ending and pace is what made me give it a 7.5. It just would take people away from it. Still, enjoyed the film, and some fans will enjoy talking about the ending and come up with explanations and feel a little bit more of the fire. As the acting goes, Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage made this film enjoyable, especially Maika. Her acting and anxiety really transferred over, and it made us feel a bit awkward that we could relate to her and see it from her point of view, that she didn't want that, but she needed to complete a task. Also, the story is one that you will feel you've solved, but when the devil element seems to come into play, you can't really place it in the right spot, but you know it's there. The ending part is where you run into some more problems. You don't know if you can pinpoint the ending, therefore you are left pondering as if it was the right choice for them to decide to end it at that point. So that does it for this review of Longlegs. Please join us next time when we're going to review Twisters.
Sometimes the old ways are better than the new.
Well, you can always trust a guy who puts his face on a t-shirt.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.